Almost Twins by Mark Fielding Darden. The backstory. I don't remember what made me begin writing this story. I really don't. But as soon as I got going, I knew what was going to inspire me. It would be the sad life of a brain-damaged twin who was just smart enough to know that he was supposed to be just like his perfect brother, but wasn't. Almost Twins was greatly inspired by my life with a very special Canal Zone family called the Spencers. They were exceptional people. Tom Spencer was my father's roommate when they both moved to the Canal Zone in the early 1940s. They later met their future wives and then married them in the Canal Zone. Tom and my father stayed best friends for life thereafter, and my mother's very closest friend was Lorraine Spencer, Tommy's wife. Tom Spencer became Todd Spaulding, and Lorraine Spencer became Loretta Spaulding. The Spencer and Darden families lived next to each other for the next 35 years in the Canal Zone. My folks had 4 kids, and they had 2, Charles and Courtney Spencer. Except for my older brother, all the kids were raised together because we were so close in age. Charles was 3 years my senior, and Courtney was in my class all through school. The boys were not twins and did not really look alike, but the dynamics played out in the story have a lot of truth in them. Charles went on to become one of the world's leading Mesoamerican archaeologists. His official title as of this date is Curator of Mexican and Central American Archaeology for the American Museum of Natural History in New York City, New York. Courtney Spencer was challenged his entire life by the issue he experienced at birth. Both boys were born in the Panama Canal Zone at Gorgas Hospital, as were my 3 siblings and I. Charles Spencer became Geoffe Spaulding, and Courtney Spencer became George Spaulding, or Georgie. Nothing in this story is meant to malign or denigrate the Spencer family in any way. The word retard is used throughout the story because that was the clinical word assigned to children with intellectual disabilities at that time. The word is not intended to be slanderous in any way, but was used by the author to keep the story historically true to form. Courtney became a beloved fixture of the community and rode his bicycle everywhere. He actually worked a government job from the time he passed through high school until the time he retired in his late 50s. His retirement check is undoubtedly bigger than mine. Courtney could do everything Georgie could do, including swim. He was a great bowler, too. I was probably one of Courtney's closest friends outside his family, and I protected him on many occasions. The Dardens and the Spencers both retired in Tallahassee together in the late 1970s. Courtney now lives in a facility in Florida where his brother placed him when their parents died. Here are some other historically true parts of the story, in no particular order. Tom and Lorraine Spencer died in the same hospital within days apart, without knowing the other was dying. Tom Spencer loved baseball and coached us all through the Little League. Courtney was our bat boy. Courtney referred to himself as a kick-a-side instead of a sidekick, a sign that he really did understand his lot in life. Courtney was smart enough to realize he was retarded. That was always a very sad thing for me to understand and observe. His favorite expression was, "You got that right." Lorraine came to the Canal Zone from the battlefields of Europe, and her name really is engraved in the National Monument in D.C. for her efforts during World War II. Angelica was our maid while growing up in the Canal Zone. She is still alive and well as of this date, and she still points with her lips. Enrico was our gardener. I am not sure what happened to him after our family left the zone. When my father retired in 1977, he gave Enrico my cherished .22 caliber rifle. An old fisherman did tell me about a large snake one day and said, "That what don't bother me, I don't bother it." He was obviously a Jamaican. There is a place called Punta Mala on the Pacific coast of Panama, and it does mean bad point. We ate mangoes and ginnips, exactly as described in the story. There were very large sharks along the coast of Panama, but the shark part of this story was made up for dramatic purposes. No one got bitten and no one died. Even the epilogue in the story is fictitious. Most of the pictures used in the story came from online sources that I have done my best to cite. Some were originals. If anyone ever has an objection to any of them, I will gladly give you credit for the pictures. Special thanks to Carol Griffin, a North Carolina high school English teacher and colleague, who inspired me to present this story to her class in 2017. Thank you, Miss Griffin, for that opportunity and for your encouragement over the years. I know you have twins. A special blessing is also hereby sent to the surviving Spencer family members, whose family added so much to my life. I hope in no way I have offended anyone by my blending of truth, imagination, and love in this story. I still cannot read it without crying at the end. You may reach me at markfieldingdarden@gmail.com.